Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video it will be a 10-minute guide onto the F5 Tiger, or the intro. Okay, so the first thing we need to know is how to start up the F5, as seen as most multiplayer servers will require you to start the plane from a cold and dark, and auto start doesn't really feel right. The F5 was made for ease of use and quick reaction, so the startup is really easy to learn. It only takes a few steps and is very easy to remember. So we'll go over the controls for today and for the startup. So firstly, we'll do canopy, open and close. Left throttle idle, defaulted to right alt and home. And right throttle idle, defaulted to right shift and home. And lastly, the communication menu, which is defaulted to the backslash, but I don't find that works, so I bind it to a side button on my mouse. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is go down to the electronics panel, left click battery on, right click left generator on, and right click right generator on. We now have provided electrical power to the plane. Unlike most planes, the F5 does not have an APU in the back, which means we'll have to get some external source of air to be able to start our engines. You can go into the communications menu by pressing the backslash key, or the button we set it as, ground crew, ground air supply, and connect.
Chief, connect ground air supply.
Quick note, the canopy has to be open for the ground air supply to be able to be connected and work. Okay, so we're going to start up our left engine now. So we get ground crew, ground air supply, apply.
Chief, apply ground air supply. Copy.
Okay.
Air is now applied.
So it's now air, and once that passes 10%, you can click the left engine start, and along with right alt and home. We can now audibly hear that the engine is spooling up, and we can wait for the outside and the air canopy thingy is open. Okay, so we'll now have to repeat that for the right engine, ground crew, ground air supply, and apply.
Chief, apply ground air supply. Copy.
Once that reaches past 10%, right engine start, right shift home, uncages that right throttle engine. Okay, we'll wait for the right engine to settle, and then we'll be able to disconnect the ground air supply and close the canopy. Okay, you can go ground crew, ground air supply, you can disconnect.
Disconnect ground air supply. Copy. Ground air supply is now disconnected.
You can now close the canopy with left control and C. You can either set the flaps using the flaps auto, or double click to put it into auto, which was defaulted to full. We're now going to turn on our oxygen and our boost pumps. It's always a great idea to turn on the pitot heat, even though you might not need it. Radios to both, and you can select your pylons if you have any. We currently do not have any. You can use your mouse scroller to uncage and make sure it's neutralized. Go down to the radar and set it to standby so it's ready to warm up. You can set your chaff to and flares to whatever you want. Turn on your dampeners. Turn your IFF to standby. And we are ready to go. We can automatically default the HUD mode to missile. And that is the startup of the F5 Tiger completed. Taxiing the F5 is as simple as takeoff. Simply hold down the nose while steering button, apply some throttle, and you'll be moving. Note, you have to hold down the nose while steering button for the nose while steering to work, otherwise it won't work as shown now. Okay, I'll now taxi to the runway and cut for takeoff. Okay, we are now lined up on the runway. The takeoff in the F5 is very simple. One thing I forgot to note is that we have to power on the RWR and put it into search mode. I'll quickly demonstrate a takeoff now. Note that if you are very heavy, you may need to put a lot more trim up for the takeoff to work. We'll now cut into some weapons training. Firstly, we will do bombs. Now this is the bomb zone that I'll be taking if you want to follow along. Okay, I've just put myself in active pause and we're ready to drop our bombs. We're going to be dropping our bombs in a full ripple today. So we're going to put these to ripple, the external source, confirm guns and missile camera, which is basically the master arm. And we can arm our bombs tail for more penetration, but those is always key. You can put your interval for 0.6, so they ripple off as quick as you can. Okay, the controls for bombing is as simple as this. Weapon release button. That's all you need to drop the bombs in the F5. So we're going to make this sight more reliable. So we're going to go to manual, and we're going to take the depression to 80. This works between a 10 and a 20 degree dive. We're going to do that now. Okay, so looking down to the left, you can see that we're in a rough 10 degree dive, going to 15. And we get to, when we feel comfortable, about 2,000 feet, 2,000 to 2,500 feet, 2,000 to 2,500 feet for me. I'll press the weapon release button and we'll slowly start to pull up. Pickle. There we go. Let's look outside. There we go. Now, the F5 bombs weren't really meant to be used like a Vigan, but can still provide a decent amount of damage used there, as you can see. We'll next now look on to rockets. Now, on this segment, we'll be looking at rockets and the gun. So, we're going to do the same, manual, but this time we're only going to put it to 12. We're now going to go to the controls, and the first one is to fire the gun trigger second detent. If you have two detents, first detent will open up the thing that the gun pops out of, and weapon release to shoot the rockets out. Let's do this. I'm going to get myself out of active pause now. Go into our dive. Around 350 to 400 knots. Okay. I'm just going to see where the rockets land. There we go. We emptied out 4 full canisters of rockets, and that was the damage. I'll now cut to the guns. Okay, so we've covered the controls of the gun, so let's do it. Manual, 12 depression, and we're going to go down. I'm just going to speed time up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to press down on my first detent on my trigger. And I'm going to start firing. Okay, we didn't get any good major hits there, but we did a lot of damage. So now we'll cut to the air-to-air section. Okay, as soon as this is an ultimate beginner's guide, we're just going to go into the sidewinders, as the radar isn't really ever relevant for the missiles. So we're going to confirm our master arm is armed, our pylons are selected, missile mode, and we can change the sidewinder volume. I'm going to turn it down a bit. And I'm going to Fox 2 on that MiG. And I'll Fox 2 again. Well, they both missed. As you can see, these missiles are not that good as they're from a long time ago. So you got to keep in mind that. But yep, that's the air-to-air missiles. Okay, that's the end of the video. If you want a more in-depth guide, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.